Hey guys, Dark Energy with AOE Gaming here to discuss the upcoming changes headed our way with the Greymoor update coming soon here in June. If you're rocking one of my builds and you want to know how it's going to fare and what the changes are going to be for those builds with the upcoming update, this video will go into detail on all of that. Now, it's not going to be a full breakdown on everything the update brings, but I will also touch on some very key changes, but we're not going to go into the vampire skills. We're not going to go into the mythic items, things like that. This video is specifically going to be about how these changes affect the builds I've already put out, and a couple other maybe really key things that are a big deal that won't take long to discuss. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of changes, and a lot of changes to the 5-piece sets and to some of the monster sets. But for the most part, all the changes seem to be good and working in a favorable direction toward my builds, all except for one, and there's some things up in the air that will have to be tested to determine whether or not it's a build breaker. But let's go ahead and take a look at these patch notes, and we'll discuss some of these changes. Alright, as we go through, you'll see everything, but I'm only going to discuss the sets that are on the builds I released. So, Amber Plasm on the Shackle Plasm Hybrid. Now you get more Stam and Magicka recovery on the 5th piece, and you get health recovery now. So it just got stronger. Scroll down through here, Elfbane. Now that's a big deal there. We don't use it yet, but you'll no longer be able to use Zane or Zahn with Elfbane and get the extra 5 seconds. So that's a big change. Now, Robes of the Hist on the Knight of Hindrance. What they did, they made it to where, if you look at the second bullet point, fix an issue where the set could trigger off self-imposed snares, and some snares meant to bypass the normal rules. So now I'm wondering if the Hindrance Potion is no longer, which snares you, which activates 100% uptime on the Hist set, if it's going to be changed to where no longer you get the 100% uptime. Now, we wear Iron Blood with that 5-piece as well on that build, and Iron Blood snares you. So I wonder if Iron Blood is still going to allow the activation of the 5th piece trait on his sap, the healing. Also on the Knight of Hindrance, Blood Spawn. Reduce the armor proc to 33 from 6450. That's pretty big. That's in half. Ultimate down 6 points from 14 down to 8. But the cooldown's down a second. Now, I've got a solution that's still, I think, going to be pretty good. I've got a solution if that's going to be imperative between this and, of course, his sap. And I've got to test some things. But the Knight of Hindrance tank right now seems to be under attack. So, Chokethorn, if you're rocking the Stam Power Cure, this proc chance went up 15% from 10%. A little more healing over a longer period of time. That means less gets wasted. I like that. More healing over 6 seconds versus 4 seconds. Earthgore's cooldown got reduced by 15 seconds, which is pretty good for it, and then heals over a longer period of time. Now, we don't have that on a build yet, but anyway, Alambris now. We did talk about the potential to use this on the Hell's Mortars build. The proc chance went up to 33% versus 10. It will be extended by Elfbane if used. But and the damage went up almost to double for each meteor shower. But now you can no longer layer them. You won't get the lightning and the fire at the same time. So that will be interesting to see how that affects some builds. But as far as the Hell's Mortars build, if you use the Alambris, it just gets more powerful on the fire end. Infernal Guardian took a decrease of damage a little bit. So that just got a little bit weaker. Maw of the Infernal on the Necrotic Horde Stamina Necromancer build. I'll just highlight this one. Increase the proc chance to 33%, up from 10%. So he's going to be out a lot more, a lot longer. Change the 1-piece bonus to max Magicka instead of max health. So we lost a bit of max health there, but the max Magicka at least is going to boost our Spirit Mender's healing there. But there's some other things they discuss about the mechanics of his attacks, but overall, I like the increased proc chance. The higher uptime means more damage. So, Molag Kina, let's see, that just got an increase of damage. We're not using any of these. Now, Sentinel of Arku Goms, we do use that on the Engine Centurion shield stacking healer build. I think overall we got a buff here. They removed the proc chance, which is going to increase his uptime, and they increased the stamina and magicka restore up 10 per tick, but reduced the tick count by 1. So I think overall, even just with the proc chance, this took a buff. So that'll be good. Okay, Shadowrend. If you used this set with the Necrotic Horde in replacement of the Maw of the Infernal originally, this just took a hit. You no longer apply Minor Maim, reducing the damage output by 15%. You just reduce the damage by 5%, and his damage was significantly reduced to 800 from 3240. Unless you're already using something that gives the enemy Minor Maim already, you're losing out there. Stormfist, it's pretty cool actually. On a stamina build, now the shock portion will bypass spell resistance, making the proc, the 3 ticks of shock, a little stronger. We don't use that on a build that I've released yet. Troll King. Now I mentioned using this as a healing monster set for the Stam Power Cure, and I also did use it on the Shroud of the Unshackled hybrid Sork build. Well, now the health recovery buff granted is down to 925 from 1548. Just over 600 right there, flat, but it'll end up being more as you scale in percentages. Valken Scoria on the Hell's Mortars build, on the Lord of the Elements build, and on the Eternal Plague build. Now this one piece now grants spell penetration rather than max health. I think that's great for the damage output, especially for the Magicka builds. They decrease the splash damage a little bit, but not by much. I think this set took a buff. Veladreth took a buff, and Zon got reworked. You'll have to do some math on that one. They increased the proc chance, though, to 33%, so you're going to see it out a lot more. But anyhow, those are the changes headed our way. So if you're rocking one of my builds, keep on rocking it, because it seems like things are only getting better, except for maybe the Knight of Hindrance tank. And I've got to take a look at some things to see how they work once this update drops. But I've already got some solutions in mind, so bear with me in that build, and we'll figure it out, guys. But until then, thanks for watching. Dark Energy with AOE Gaming, signing out.